some are claiming that the carnivore diet is dead and that everyone should do a plant-based diet. But is that really the smarter move or just another fad? Let's dive into the facts. Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Westman, and welcome to my channel where I review and debunk nutritional misinformation online. In this video, we're going to hear from Dr. Neal Barnard, who is the head or one of the leads of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. I've known Dr. Barnard for a long time, and we'll see what he says about getting protein and what his latest ideas are about a vegan diet, because that's kind of his thing. And be sure to wait till the end where you hear my final thoughts.
You've been changing your diet. You've gone to a totally plant-based vegan diet. Good for you. That's fantastic. But you know what? Your friends are asking you the same question, aren't they? They're asking, where do you get your protein? Or if you're new to this, you might be asking that yourself. Where am I going to get protein on a plant-based diet?
So the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has been around a long time, as is Dr. Barnard, and they've been pushing or promoting a kind of one-size-fits-all plant-based vegan sort of diet. And I remember being on the same podium as Dr. Barnard a couple times, and they even had a Atkins Kills on the website. And I asked Dr. Barnard, I was doing studies on the Atkins diet and it's looking healthy. And I asked him, could you remove that from the website? And he said, send me a letter about it. And I said, I'm not going to do that. So I'm afraid this group has been antagonistic toward other methods. But you can see here the approach so far has been one of preaching to the choir, of people who've already decided to be on a vegan plant-based kind of diet, and the concerns that must be that the friends are saying, where are you going to get your protein? And so this is a video that will show you how you can get protein from a plant-based diet.
Or maybe you've been Googling and you Googled plant-based protein sources, and that's what landed you here. Well, we've got some answers for you. The truth is, if you've just started a completely healthy plant-based diet, you might be at risk of developing a condition that I call protein anxiety. What that actually means is you're not protein deficient, but you're worried. You're worried about getting enough protein. You might not be sure what protein is, but you're afraid you're not going to get it. Well, let me put your mind at ease. Protein is widely available. It's in beans, it's in vegetables, it's in grains, and protein deficiency is really virtually unheard of if you're getting any normal combination of those healthy plant-based foods. All right. Few numbers. How much protein do you need? The government would say about 0.4 grams per pound of your body weight, or if you're going metric, 0.8 grams per kilogram. What that means is an average woman needs about 46 grams a day. A man, call it 56. But if you actually look at the numbers, most people get about twice that amount, and even those numbers are a little bit generous.
I remember there was a diet in Durham where I work. I just got my 35-year plaque. It was called the rice diet. And the rice diet was a low-fat, high-carb kind of diet. And it wasn't totally plant-based because I think they had fish in it, but it was pretty close. So it was kind of the era of low-fat diets, the Pritikin diet, the Ornish diet. Those sorts of things can work. But I remember the Dr. Rosati, who was the head of the program, he criticized the nutritional guidelines because they were too high in protein. And so I think this is a pattern that if you push a diet like this, and, I think it can be healthy, you criticize guidelines for the protein levels being too high. That was funny because I was studying a low-carb diet, the Atkins diet, it was called at the time, and I said, well, we criticize the government guidelines because it's too high in carbs. And he would laugh because the rice diet or the plant-based diet is typically high in carbs. Well, you can actually do vegan keto and lower carb and being, so this isn't like a either or. And that really was a frustration through the years for me because, we started presenting research on low-carb diets, and Dr. Barnard would say, "You're killing people." And I would say, "No, I'm not." And so the frustration I've had is that people have taught this as if there's only one way to do it. And I think we've learned that there are many ways, to have many different carbs, many different nutritional profiles. And it was recently in a paper out of Stanford where they analyzed the very low fat and the very low carb groups, and they had very similar effects on insulin resistance. So there's probably more in common with these extreme plant-based, animal-based diets because you don't have the junk foods than differences in the nutritional profiles. But the criticism of the government guideline has been so widespread that hopefully in the current administration, it will just be sort of torpedoed and we'll go to an era. There was a time when there was no government guideline about the food and the nutrition. And in a recent meeting, it occurred to one of the participants, and I thank him for saying it that way, and that's no guideline is better than a bad guideline. And so here's the criticism of the governmental guideline from a vegan because the guideline's too high in protein for people. I'd like to give a big thank you to our friends at Element for sponsoring today's video. Element offers a fantastic science-backed mix of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, essential electrolytes for anyone on a keto diet. In particular, their raw, unflavored version, which comes in the blue, teal-colored package, is a great choice. This specific version contains no stevia, no sugar or any additives, just the 3 vital electrolytes your body needs, already perfectly measured for you. It's an excellent addition to a keto diet, and more importantly, it tastes great. As you may know, electrolytes play a crucial role, especially for those following a keto or carnivore lifestyle. Get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase. It's a perfect way to test it out and even share Element with a friend. Get yours now at drinklmnt.com/Eric Westman. This special offer is only available through my link, drinklmnt.com/Eric Westman. You'll also find it in the description below. Now let's get back to the video.
Now, you might be thinking, well, a little protein's good. A lot has got to be better. No, I'm sorry to say it's not true. If you're really indulging in animal protein, what's coming along with it? Fat, cholesterol, the occasional salmonella. No, you don't need that extra protein. Your body can't use it, and neither can you. Okay, so where am I going to get protein from plants?
Well, but before we get to the plant, he said a few things that kind of just slipped by, that actually your body can use more protein, and there are specific instances where you would want more protein than the government guideline. Let's say you're a bodybuilder trying to sustain and increase your body muscle. Let's say you're older and you want to maintain your muscle and not have sarcopenia, which is the lack of muscle as we get older. So I think the general teaching here is for someone who's otherwise healthy, maybe even young people who are being criticized by their peers. So where can you get protein on a vegetarian diet?
Let's say you're eating a typical 2,000 calorie diet, which is about normal for a typical person. Well, if all I ate was broccoli for a whole day, 2,000 calories would give me 146 grams of pure protein. If I ate 2,000 calories a day of nothing but lentils, not that you'd ever do this, but you'd get 157 grams of pure protein. So hopefully you're not having just broccoli or just lentils. If you're eating any variety of plant foods, you're getting protein-rich sources from all of them, including all of the essential amino acids that your body needs to make protein of its own. So as long as you're eating enough calories, you're getting enough protein. And that's also true for athletes. Athletes do need more protein. That's true. But what do they do to get more protein? They eat more food, and protein comes along with it. They're breathing more. They're getting more oxygen as they're running. They're eating more. They're getting more protein. Now, wait a minute. You might have heard somebody talk about essential amino acids, which I mentioned just briefly. Well, essential amino acids are building blocks that your body uses to make protein, but they are found in plants. Plants have all the essential amino acids that you need. And when you combine foods like rice and beans, you get all the best of all these different plant sources. So, protein anxiety?
Well, it's interesting to hear how nutrition can be taught. This is a video to reassure people about eating a plant-based diet. But when I teach nutrition, I will bring up the idea that some vegetables don't have all of the nutrition, the essential amino acids, so you need to combine them to make sure you do. And he kind of glosses over that because most people will have the combination of beans and rice, for example, that will then give you all of the essential nutrients that you need. So interesting to see that this is trying to dispel some of the concerns about plant-based diets. And the thing about a vegan diet is you do have to be careful about the vitamin B12 because plants just don't have vitamin B12 at all, and you still have that need for B12 even if you're eating a plant-based diet. And even then, the essential nutrient concept can be different depending on what you eat. It's called conditional essentiality. Dr. Justin Taunt, Will Yancey, and I wrote a paper about conditional essentiality of nutrients. And sure, you can get all the nutrition you need on a plant-based diet.
Let it go. On a healthy plant-based diet, you're getting not just away from the bad things like fat and cholesterol, but you're getting into healthy foods, vitamins, minerals, and yes, plenty of protein to meet your needs. Have at it.
Well, I see this as sort of a reassuring of people who are worried about being on a plant-based diet. I don't promote really a plant-based diet. If someone wants to eat one, I can help them figure out how to do that. I know there are a lot of people that want just to eat plant-based diets, and you can do a keto type, especially low-carb type of plant-based diet. And I think the commonality is the animal sourced or plant sourced is that these diets will reduce the insulin resistance and inflammation and can be a healthy way to live and grow. I prefer to teach an animal sourced type of dietary program just because it's more common in our area, and I don't worry so much about the lack of nutrients because the animal sourced nutrition is excellent, and you're not skimping on anything that you might not be getting on a vegetarian diet. But it's good to see Dr. Barnard still talking about this and helping people understand great nutrition. The thing is, there are, I think, a lot of ways to be healthy and to get your nutrition. I don't think there's just one way to do it. Even if I teach keto, low carb, I'm open to the idea that you can be healthy using other sources of nutritional patterns. I hope you like this. If you do, please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining our YouTube membership for early access and exclusive live Q&As with me. Just click the join button below or support us with a PayPal in the description.